Happiness. It is the one thing that every human being on this planet is searching for, yet it often feels like the most mysterious treasure buried under layers of confusion, expectations, and lies that society feeds us. We are told that happiness comes from success, from money, from relationships, from possessions, and from achievements. But the hidden truth is far more complicated and far more liberating. Today, I want to take you on a journey to uncover the hidden truth about happiness that no one tells you. This is not the polished version you see in advertisements or social media, but the raw, uncomfortable, and eye-opening reality that can completely change how you look at your own life. So sit back, relax, and let's dive deep into the real story of happiness. The first truth about happiness is this: happiness is not a destination. This is the biggest mistake people make. We are taught from a very young age that life is a straight path. Go to school, get a job, make money, find a partner, buy a house, and somewhere at the end of that path, like a golden trophy, happiness will be waiting for us. But life is not a straight line. Life is messy, unpredictable, and constantly changing. If you treat happiness as a final stop, you will always feel like you haven't arrived yet. Real happiness is not found at the end of the road. It is hidden in the small steps along the way. Think about it. How many times have you said to yourself, "I'll be happy when I get that promotion," or "I'll be happy when I finally buy a new car," or "I'll be happy when I move to a new city"? Whoa, you finally get those things, and yes, maybe for a few days you feel excited and satisfied, but very quickly that feeling fades away. Psychologists call this the hedonic treadmill. No matter how much we achieve, no matter how much we gain, our brains adapt and return to a baseline. We start craving the next thing. It's like running on a treadmill. You put in the effort, but you never actually move forward. This is why chasing happiness in external things is like chasing a shadow. It is always there, but you can never grab it. The second hidden truth is that happiness is not about what you have. It's about what you notice. Gratitude, presence, and perspective play a much bigger role in your happiness than possessions or achievements. You could have $1 billion and still feel empty if your mind is focused only on what you don't have. On the other hand, you could have very little and still feel joy if you train yourself to notice the beauty of small things: the warmth of the sun on your face, the laughter of a friend, the taste of your favorite food. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who traveled the world, chasing the idea of happiness. He climbed mountains, explored cities, spent money, and met thousands of people. But no matter where he went, he always felt a void. One day, tired and frustrated, he sat down on a bench. Next to him was a little boy, eating ice cream, smiling like he had everything in the world. The man asked the boy, "Why are you so happy?" The boy replied, "Because my ice cream hasn't melted yet." At that moment, the man realized he had been looking for happiness in the wrong place. Happiness is not found in the extraordinary, but in the ordinary things we stop appreciating. Another truth about happiness is that it requires struggle. This sounds strange, right? We imagine happiness as comfort, ease, and pleasure. But in reality, lasting happiness often comes from pain, effort, and growth. Think about the moments in your life when you felt the proudest or most alive. Were they the easy moments? Probably not. They were the moments you pushed yourself, faced your fears, overcame obstacles, or survived challenges you thought would break you. Humans are wired to find meaning in struggle, and meaning is the secret ingredient of happiness. Without meaning, pleasure is empty. With meaning, even pain can feel valuable. For example, parents often talk about the exhaustion and stress of raising children, but also about the deep joy it brings. Athletes push their bodies through pain, yet they feel ecstatic when they achieve victory. Students sacrifice sleep and energy to study, but the moment they graduate, they feel a happiness that comfort alone could never provide. The truth is that happiness is not the absence of problems. It is the presence of problems you care about solving. The fourth hidden truth is that comparison is the enemy of happiness. We live in a world where social media makes it easier than ever to compare our lives to others. We see pictures of perfect vacations, perfect relationships, perfect bodies, and perfect careers. And without even realizing it, we start measuring our happiness against someone else's highlight reel. But comparison is a trap, because there will always be someone who has more than you, someone who looks better, or someone who seems happier. If you constantly compare, you will always feel like you are losing. The only way to break free is to realize that happiness is not a competition. Your life is not meant to be measured against anyone else's. It is meant to be lived by you, for you. Another hidden truth is that happiness is deeply connected to relationships. Study after study has shown that the quality of your connections with people, friends, family, community, has a greater impact on your long-term happiness than wealth or status. Humans are social creatures. We are wired for connection. Isolation may bring temporary relief, but it rarely brings joy. Real happiness comes when we share life with others, when we love and are loved, when we feel seen, valued, and understood. But here's the twist. Not every relationship makes us happy. Toxic relationships, fake friendships, or shallow interactions can actually drain happiness. So the key is not just being surrounded by people, but being surrounded by the right people. A few deep, authentic connections will bring you far more happiness than 1,000 surface-level ones. Now let's talk about another uncomfortable truth. Happiness requires acceptance of sadness. This sounds contradictory, but it's essential. So many people think happiness means eliminating all negative emotions. They fight sadness, anger, and anxiety as if those emotions are enemies. But the more you resist them, the more they grow. True happiness comes when you accept that sadness is part of the human experience. You can't have light without darkness. You can't appreciate joy without sorrow, and you can't understand love without loss. The hidden truth is that happiness is not about being positive all the time. It is about allowing yourself to feel everything without judgment. There's a Japanese philosophy called wabi-sabi, which means finding beauty in imperfection. Imagine a cracked vase that has been repaired with gold, making the cracks part of its beauty. That's what life is like. Happiness isn't about having a perfect, flawless existence. It's about embracing the cracks, the struggles, and the scars, and realizing they are what make your story unique. The next truth is that happiness often comes from giving, not receiving. When we focus only on ourselves, happiness tends to shrink. But when we give, whether it's time, kindness, love, or help, happiness expands. Studies have shown that acts of kindness release chemicals in the brain that boost mood, reduce stress, and increase overall satisfaction. Think about it. The moments when you truly felt good weren't always when you got something, but when you gave something that mattered. Let's also address the lie that happiness is constant. Happiness is not a permanent state. It's a wave. It rises, it falls, it changes. And that's okay. Expecting to be happy all the time is like expecting the sun to shine without ever setting. The truth is, happiness comes in moments, and the key is to notice them, cherish them, and not expect them to last forever. Now here's perhaps the biggest hidden truth of all. Happiness is a choice. Not in the sense that you can just snap your fingers and feel joy, but in the sense that you can choose how you interpret life, how you react to challenges, and where you direct your focus. You may not control what happens to you, but you control how you see it. And that perspective can make all the difference between misery and peace. So what is the hidden truth about happiness that no one tells you? It's not in the money, the fame, the achievements, or the possessions. It's not in waiting for a perfect future. It's here, right now, in the present moment, in gratitude, in struggle, in connection, in acceptance, in giving, and in choosing how to see your life. Happiness is not something you find. It's something you create, moment by moment, decision by decision. And if there's one thing you take away from this, let it be this. Happiness is not about having a perfect life. It's about learning to find joy in the imperfect one you already have. So let me ask you, what is one small thing today that you can be grateful for? What is one moment you can stop and appreciate? Because happiness is not out there somewhere. It's already waiting inside of you, ready to be noticed. And if you're still listening right now, thank you for spending this time with me. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Share your own hidden truth about happiness, because your story might be the reminder someone else needs today. And don't forget, if you want more conversations like this, more honesty about life, and more ideas that can change the way you see the world, hit that like button, subscribe, and join me on this journey. Because this is not the end, it's only the beginning of uncovering life's deepest truths.